Hello, my name is Kyle Whittaker. I'm a County Engagement Specialist in Ag and Environment in Webster County for MU Extension. Today we're going to be talking about dry country cured hams. So I have two hams here that we put the cure on back in January, and so the curing process is over, and so now we're ready to start aging these hams. So for the aging process, what we need to be able to do is just go ahead and take the ham out of the net. And these hams have been hanging since January in the shed that's right behind me. They need to hang in a well-ventilated area with no heat. And of course they're wrapped in paper. And after we put the cure on, we need to leave the cure on the ham for 2.5 days for every pound of the ham. Now, when we get the paper off of this, it's not going to look what you might call extremely edible, but that's just the process of the ham taking the cure. You're going to notice that there's some mold on it, and that'll be just fine later on. So once we get the ham out of the paper, and we can discard this paper. We're not going to wash this ham in any way yet in terms of putting water on it. Our goal here is just to knock the cure off, and I'm just using a stiff brush. I've got a small one and a large one. You can see the ham kind of has a mahogany color, which is a good indication that it took the ham. You can see quite a bit of mold here, and I'm just literally going to brush that off. Again, I'm not putting any water or soap or anything on this ham yet. And if I don't get all the cure off or all the little spots of mold off, that's not a big issue at this point, because we can come back and do that later. I've got this smaller brush. I'm going to kind of work into some of these crevices. So we're going to let this ham age till about the 1st of June. They need to age a couple of 3 months, 2 to 3 months. And at that point, we would be able to wash them, and that's when we'll put some smoked flavor on them and that sort of stuff. So I've got the ham cure off of it. So the next step, clean my table off a little. The next step is to hang it back in the net, wrapped in paper. So it's important you don't use freezer paper. It just needs to be regular paper. Get a piece out here. And you want to lay the paper with the corner facing you. And I'm simply going to put the ham in the center of the paper. I've got the shank side facing me. And now I'm just going to wrap the ham back up. So I'm going to take this far corner, put it over the shank. I'm going to bring in each side. This doesn't have to look pretty. We just want to get the ham wrapped up. And you can age these hams without wrapping them in paper, but I like to put them in paper. It kind of helps with pest control as they're going through the aging process. Then I'm going to fold the top back down, and then I'm going to put it in a ham net. And I want to put it in the ham net the same way that I took it out. So the shank's going to go in first, and they'll be hanging with the shank side down. And so you literally just start taking the net and working over the shank. You'll notice there's a seam on this ham net. It is kind of important to have that seam right on the end of the shank. If you get that off to one side, it can cause the shank to bend over time. So now I'm going to stick it up. Again, this doesn't have to look pretty, but I'm going to start pulling my ham net together at the top of the ham. The bigger the ham net you have, the easier this is. And so I'm just going to pull it tight like that. I'm going to twist my ham net. I'm going to tie this in a little knot. And then you don't have to have a meat hook like this. You could use a piece of wire, baling twine. But I'm going to hook that on that knot. It's going to hang back in the same place that it was hanging for the curing process. And again, we'll leave it there a couple, 2 to 3 months. So the plan for this ham will be to take it down about the 1st of June, and then we'll apply some cold smoke to it to give it the smoke flavor. After that, when we take it out of the paper, when we get ready to smoke it, we will wash this ham with soap, water, you know, just a light soap, warm water, get all that stuff off. We'll also do a little bit of trimming. I'll make another video about that when we get to that point. If you're interested in learning how to do a dry country cured ham, we'll be offering some classes throughout Southwest Missouri starting next December on how to do dry country cured hams. Thanks a lot.